नमस्कार, आदाब, केम छो। मैं करण मेहता आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं लेजेंड्स ऑफ डिजाइन के एक और नए एपिसोड में। दोस्तों, आज का एपिसोड बहुत ही खास है क्योंकि आप सभी लोगों की तरह मैं भी एक बहुत बड़ा क्रिकेट का फैन हूं। क्रिकेट हम सारे देशवासियों के रग रग में बसा हुआ है और आज के हमारे जो गेस्ट हैं, इन्होंने हम सारे क्रिकेट फैंस को एक बहुत ही नायाब तोहफा हमें गिफ्ट किया है, वानखेड़े स्टेडियम। दोस्तों, वानखेड़े स्टेडियम की जब हम बात करते हैं तो कितनी सारी मेमोरीज हमारे आंखों के सामने आ जाती है। 2011 का वो वर्ल्ड कप का फाइनल जहां पे धोनी के छक्के से इंडिया ने फाइनल मैच जीता, या फिर 2013 का सचिन तेंदुलकर का वो आखिरी टेस्ट मैच। उनकी फेयरवेल स्पीच सुनकर स्टैंड में सारे लोगों की आंखें नम थी। अब तक तो आप लोगों ने अंदाजा लगा ही लिया होगा कि हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं। He is undoubtedly one of the best architects India has ever produced. लेकिन उनको इस मंच पे बुलाने के पहले आइए देखते हैं उनकी एक छोटी सी झलक।
I think there is no limit for dreaming as long as there is a determination to win. This is architect Shashi Prabhu, founder and principal of architect Shashi Prabhu and Associates from Wankhede Stadium.
So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the creator of Wankhede Stadium and the living legend, architect Shashi Prabhu. First of all, Shashi sir, we are honored to have you here, and we thank you from the bottom of our heart for giving us this time and this opportunity today.
Thank you.
So when I met Shashi sir, for the first time, I thought he would be, he's a very senior and a well-known architect, but his personality is so welcoming that I never felt that, I'm talking to such a big legend. He's so down to earth. So, So sir, how was your childhood? When were you born? And how were you as a child?
I don't know how I was a child, whether a nasty, good boy or funny making boy. But it was like, I born in 1944, imagine, way back. The situation around wasn't that, that the rich people staying, which I went to Marathi medium school.
Okay.
So basic Baba, Black Sheep, etc. was taught in the 7th standard.
Oh,
imagine.
Okay.
So there was no trace of English in the mind and also in the vocabulary. When I graduated from Bandra School of Art, I'm honored really, because it was a school of art and then we unnecessarily call it College of Architecture. Mandar was, I suppose, but well, from there, not having. Let me go to the back story slightly behind. See, I wanted to be the cricketer, and therefore I went to Podar College. And Podar College, why I went for a commerce? Because I knew Professor Changadkar. He was the professor of English. And then he somehow knew that, Shashi is not going to be the commerce student. He has got some different art. So I was there for 1 year. Within 1 year, whatever commerce knowledge I possessed, and that has come to help in the sense, in any industry you go, you have to have some understanding about the commerce. After changing over, I went to architecture, and during my time, for the students also, there was no restriction about taking the admission in any school of architecture. For example, JJ, Academy of Architecture, or Bandra School of Art. 3 or 4 basically schools. Right from the beginning, the relation between the professor and then student used to be cordial, because I was the last person to bunk the class of mechanics. The mechanics is the enemies of all these students, which is engineering now. But I used to like it, and then in the entire classroom, I used to be the only one student listening to professor of mechanics, and then I like that subject, to be very honest, and very useful. I am telling the students that if you know the engineering side of the architecture, then you are a good designer, and also you will be designing something which is could be built, and it will be long lasting.
So, moving forward, Shashi sir, we would like to know what was your next project and when did it happen?
I put it this way that my initial practice was going back to this. During my time, there was nothing like job opportunity, etc. You have to go to the people. Initially, I didn't have the commercial projects. It used to be residential apartments, and then people used to come together, form a society, appoint an architect, and there you used to start. The formality of the municipal corporation were minimal. You could get the approval in a matter of 3-4 days. When I started my practice, for the student I tell you, the cost of construction was 22-23 rupees a square foot. The cement was 5 rupees or 4 rupees a bag. Steel was 300 rupees a ton. So imagine how much fee one can get. In a 22 rupees a square foot, even if you get say 50,000 square foot, it won't really, it was a mismatch. Going back to this story of mine, from the commerce graduation to the architecture and the transition, initial job was Wankhede Stadium. How I got it? Because Professor Changadkar, and then student must should know the Wankhede Stadium has come out of some kind of quarrel, and the Cricket Club of India didn't want another test center to come around, and there was a bad criticism in the sense within the 1 kilometer you are bringing another stadium is a waste of time, money and energy and whatnot. And I used to be on the front page of Times of India every day. Why, what for, which I realized subsequently. And to demoralize me some way, that is impossible, stadium is going to collapse, you are given to young man, he doesn't know stability of the structure and so on and so forth. So I took some structural engineer's help, and then Hadkar, senior Hadkar, is no more. His son is practicing now, his daughter is practicing now. I took his help. I said, you are my guide philosopher, and you have to take me through this, unexpected obstructions or what you can call it, and show me the path. He said, no worry, let us start with any project and I'll help you. And somehow that we got into this Wankhede Stadium with all the controversies, fear in the mind that the whole structure is going to come down. You can imagine, that age, if somebody does consistently criticism, then you start getting the dreams of the same thing. But somehow other, luck and then dedication, we could complete that structure in 11 months and 23 days.
11 months? That's an amazing achievement. Impressive. I remember when we met you, you mentioned about some incidents which happened at Wankhede before the first match. Can you please share with us what happened?
It was during the match.
During the match, okay.
It was, we are playing against the West Indians.
Okay.
As I said, I don't know whether it was motivated by Cricket Club of India to somehow or other abandon this cricket match. I can tell you and thank the people of Mumbai who love cricket. The incident happened that for some reason or the other, there used to be one person used to bring the garland all the way from Pune, Babu Tangewala. Typical cap, jacket, and then whoever person scores a century, it was Babu's duty to go and then garland him.
Okay.
Ritual, and then people used to that. Babu has to come, give the garland irrespective of which country person is playing. So Babu came and Clive Lord completed his century. Clive Lord, in my imagination, if this is my height, Lloyd was about that. And the way they speak English is something different. You don't understand half of the things.
Yeah.
And then whole crowd started coming from North Stand with lot of ammunition, stones, and then certain balls, with petrol in it. Started throwing random here, there.
On the crowd?
On the ground, in the stand. And we had typical benches, white color benches, wooden. And their aim was to destroy the Wankhede Stadium.
Oh.
The cruelty has a limit. I'll put it now, because if you wanted to have a game, you should have taken the match away rather than destroying something. But somehow the Mumbai police controlled it, the mob was taken away, and we got a task, Baba Thackeray himself, then the Chief Minister Vasantrao Naik himself, Mr. Wankhede, you name it, who was not there, Chief Secretary, Secretariat. But all of us went to the ground, and somehow we thanked the people who surrounded and tried to protect the wicket. Because aim and objective that to destroy the wicket, that means there is no further match. Imagine the vindictiveness, and I compliment Mumbai, their spirit to protect the ground. Stadium was destroyed, okay. After our visit and then finding out the situation, very pathetic. But after talking to Lloyd, he said no. Whether there is a 1 man or 2 man or 100 people there, we are going to play. We are going to play in the sense our work starts. Luckily, then the municipal commissioner, Mr. M.W. Desai, was also vice president of Mumbai Cricket Association. The meeting was held at 12 o'clock midnight, attended by Mr. Wankhede, Chief Minister, Baba Thackeray, you name it, bureaucrats. So basic issue is that how to rectify the situation. Destroyed whatever chairs, etc. to be rebuilt. So municipal commissioner said, I will give 10,000 people with whatever, required. So PW also came, they also said, so likewise about 7,000-8,000 people, workers, they said we'll start the work immediately. The challenge was that to rectify those broken chairs or benches and also number them. Because the people who have occupied this particular seat on the basis of aisle, the ABCDF, 23, 24, 300, whatever it is. So they should be able to go to the same seat. There should not be chaos. And the time, 12 p.m., I'll put it 12 past a.m. to morning 8 o'clock.
So you had only 8 hours to rectify the damage.
Standing there, in the morning we completed about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I said, let me have a bath because, this situation, I can't come back to them. So all of us again came back and witnessed the match. And Lloyd started thinking like this. In his accent, he said, wow. But wow doesn't mean anything to me. I had to slog. Because he didn't allow that the match to be postponed by one day. So we are helpless, but we made it. That's called the spirit of the people, Mumbai. That for an occasion, people came together, protecting the wicket, giving the enough flavor, whole night working with the numbering, etc. Wankhede Stadium was intact. People came to the witness in the match. They got their respective seats, and the match was played. Whether we won or lost,
That's a different thing.
but test match was conducted.
And sir, with all this pressure on you to rebuild within 8 hours, whatever damage was done, you would be just 27, 28 years that time, am I right?
Yeah, hardly 26. I would say that's not a maturity level even.
Correct.
I will add furthermore, I was married.
Okay.
So I don't know that's the age of marriage or not, but I'm married. And they double the responsibility.
True.
And my wife said, you will go mad with this kind of pressure and issues and about this. But having faced this kind of challenge, today minor things doesn't matter.
Correct. So now, sir, moving forward from that Wankhede incident, you were all just 26, 27 that time when you actually delivered that magnificent stadium at such a young age. Did your life change after that stadium? Were you like the next big star in the industry of sports complexes?
See, we are not in the film industry, so we can call ourselves a star.
I say the most sought after architect.
See, you are recognized
construct sports.
in your field, small field of architecture, in profession. You get a recognition that people know that Shashi Prabhu is somebody. But I say Shashi Prabhu is not alone. There are something like now 50, 60 associates. They are working with the respective group.
It's a teamwork.
It's a teamwork. End of the day, issue comes to us, and we are round table and we discuss it and then thrash it out, the issues. But I never feel that, I am something new. I'm the same Shashi, which started his practice way back and struggle. And then struggle is not over till the end of the life.
True. So, sir, you delivered the Wankhede in just 11 months. So, we would like to know what were your next few projects after Wankhede?
11 months and subsequently coming out of that, sees a big void. Because 11 months working day and night, almost 13, 14 hours a day, glued to the project. And thereafter, you are not looking at other jobs. So it's a big void. So once I was sitting with a depressed mood. By then this Garwari clubhouse came up. So my friend in the Thane area, he was chief of president of the local council. He somehow realized that Shashi has designed Wankhede Stadium and there is a big void, there is nothing to keep him busy. So he happened to speak to Bala Thackeray. Bala Thackeray himself came to Garwari clubhouse. We had a lunch together. He said, do you have enough jobs now? After getting occupied almost about 11, 12 hours a day. I said, no. Because my concentration was only one project. Said, wait. It's a question of, calling somebody. Those days the mobile wasn't there. So landline. He telephoned Mr. Satish Pradhan, who was the president, Thane Council. And he said, एक stadium बनाना है. In Marathi, he said, आपल्याला करायचं stadium. What kind of stadium? I had no clue. Even the person, Bahasab, had also no clue. But he said it should be for multi-purpose. Now, many people, if you are playing cricket, cricket has a circular boundary.
Correct.
And when you put a multi-purpose, then east and west side, they come closer. So it was a challenge for me. But somehow the people accepted that. That project also got over in matter of 1.5 years. And then I felt that, am I going to get glued to only sports complexes? In the meantime, in 1980s, one bald character, came to my office. He came from Delhi. His name is Sharad Das. He's still alive. And I said, Madam Gandhi, she has thought of creating magnificent indoor stadium. I said, yes. What is the capacity? Naturally, architect. He said about 25,000. I said, my goodness, 25,000 people and looking at the arena. So we started from the arena. Arena itself is about 4,000 square meter.
Okay.
That's about more than 40,000 square
40,000
foot.
square feet.
And it's a circular. And more challenging was, apart from the sitting, was the roof.
Okay.
Roof had to span. And I want to tell all architecture brothers and sisters here that the force was going to the columns was to the equal to the 500 tons.
Oh.
That's as good as 500 cars, hitting the column sideways. So we wanted to make those columns very strong. So we call them a pylon. Now in Delhi climate, especially in winter, concrete doesn't set quickly. Like Mumbai, we pour the concrete, within half an hour you can remove the sides. So we started for the slip form shuttering, which is a new thing. Now today it is very common for multi-story. But the concrete wouldn't set and the lumps and concrete coming out, and then it was a biting winter. And the progress was not really satisfying me personally. And Madam Gandhi also had a given promise to Asian people that Asian Games will be conducted by her in Delhi. Somebody from the DDA, the Delhi Development Authority, he said that the stadium will be completed in a matter of 2 years. And she was not convinced. She sent Rajiv Gandhi to the stadium. Young Raju, first time I'm meeting him. We were, Delhi system was definitely like this, giving the garland, then buttika, and that was going on, etc. Suddenly a good personality, young charming boy, absolutely European look, came to me. I'm Rajiv Gandhi. I said, sorry, where were you? I said, I have seen the stadium. And I would like to have one-to-one dialogue with you. I want people also along with you, because I am supposed to give complete brief to my mother, and that will be final. I said, okay. I was a bit frightened because normally used to be at the back seat. That day we were somewhere here because protocol said Shashi has to face the music. Whatever date I say will be final. So DDA authority said that we'll be ready before 1982 in month of May. Looking at my face, Raju immediately imagined that Mr. Prabhu is not convinced. So he came to me and then he said, okay, what do you want to say? I said, not before September, sorry. Are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. The May is something Herculean task, cannot be done. Then DDA authority said, some more question? No, this is the final question and answer. I'm leaving. He didn't speak to him. After 20 minutes, we received a call from PMO. Then madam is happy and thanks for giving the realistic period and the month. This is kind of I could bear it at that age, facing the Prime Minister challenge, etc. And if anybody goes to Delhi and go to Indira Gandhi Stadium, it is almost about 10-story building pylon.
Yeah.
Huge span.
Yes.
We were not knowing the complications and the issues, but more of a engineering and challenge. After completing it successful, the games were held.
True. We were talking about design. So going back to your design approach, when you started Wankhede Stadium, first of all, there was a challenge of designing it in the very shortened, the very small timeline. But there were a lot of thoughts that you gave and you implemented while designing the structure of the stadium, the boundary. I think there was some thought given to the direction of the sun, is it?
Yeah, basically sun moves east to west.
Correct.
And then towards the southern hemisphere. So normally we prefer south stand to be as far as possible in the shadow. And therefore we try to place the pavilion, which is players' entry, to the southern side. People say the southern side from the, I don't know, whichever it may be the science, it is not auspicious. But I see the southern side is really auspicious. Go to Cricket Club of India, go to Bombay Gymkhana, come to Wankhede Stadium. They're south oriented. So Vastu Shastra, I don't know how much you have to value it, because that's also Shastra. And suddenly you modify something and then Vastu become perfect. I don't want to criticize, but it's a luck here and destiny
Okay.
that will take you all the way
True.
to cross all barriers.
So then we also spoke about coming to healthcare. How did this happen? And can you please share your experience of your first healthcare project and also Lilavati?
My first healthcare project was in Thane,
Okay.
Thane Municipal Corporation Hospital. And my guru guide was one of the doctor, Dr. Sen. He used to come and sit with me and teach me how the design could be done and what are the adjacency, what are the protocols of the medical side. Slowly and gradually I acquainted that and designed one of the best hospital. If you get a chance to design hospital, we got a more real good exposure in Sir Harkisar HN Hospital with Mukesh Bhai and Nita Ambani.
When it was now taken over by Reliance Foundation. Okay. Recently.
Their hospital, Reliance Foundation is one of the foundation. And wherein we got exposure to the equipment side of the hospital thoroughly. And then we were kind enough and then really they allowed us to know.
So sir, how did Lilavati happen? How did you get that project? When did it happen?
It happened in 91, 92.
Okay.
And then the senior person, he's no more, Kirtilal Mehta, he thought of designing, bringing the hospital in. His idea was that hospital should not look like an hospital. Today the way it's painted is, my dream, everything has gone for a toss. I decided to, color the building in beige wood and the column in white. Instead of that, I see the yellow color has been applied. If you guys, go across the Lilavati.
Yeah.
That's not a theme. So architect thinks something and they try to do, but the people can mess it up subsequently, so we ignore. But as an hospital, it is a proper shape, and I do credit to one of my senior architects, Suhas Sahni. He's with me since 1976, and his knowledge is as perhaps slightly better than me, and we are working together.
Okay.
So healthcare is my passion, so we are therefore. And recently we have been given challenge by Tata
Okay.
on village somewhere very near to Karjat, and with the plantation, typical plantation, whether it is possible to reach to the cancer patient and try to use their therapy. If you succeed, good. If you fail, at least we are attempted.
True.
So thanks to Tata Group, because it's a generous donation and then they are also monitoring.
We are really fortunate that we got an opportunity to meet a few very close people who really love you as a person, as an architect. So let's have a look what they have to say about you.
When did I meet Shashi for the first time? I don't really recall that, but I do believe it was way back in 1974 when the Wankhede Stadium was first built. But the first impression when we came to the Wankhede Stadium was what a magnificent, stadium. It looked like pretty similar to what the Brabant Stadium was as far as the stands, etc. were concerned. But it still looked, massive. It looked bigger than the Brabant Stadium. And so we were all, as Mumbai cricketers, very, very happy that Mumbai Cricket Association had its own own stadium where we could now henceforth go and practice, where we could, if we wanted, we could keep our own kit bags in our change rooms rather than having to take them back. Mind you, those were the days when we mostly traveled by train. The kit bags were, of course, not as big as they are now, but still it wasn't very convenient. So it was that the first impression was, that now we as Mumbai cricketers had a home, and Shashi Prabhu, the architect, had made it happen. Many years later, when it was refurbished, you could see that what Shashi had done this time around was that he had learned from the previous experience. The previous experience was clearly very, very a rushed one because of the fact that the Mumbai Cricket Association wanted a stadium ready for the West Indies tour of India. So it was got ready in about 14 months or even less, I'm not 100% sure. But when you saw the refurbished stadium in 2011, you could sense that Shashi, of course, had grown as an architect by then. We are talking about somebody who'd spent more than 20 years in the field since 1974. But what you could immediately sense was that he had thought of all the aspects in the sense he had thought of, firstly, as a fan, what a fan experience should be like, and therefore he had made the stadium in such a way, the bucket seats, everything, the spacing between the seats, the width of the seat, the distance between the rows where you could comfortably move, between. Sometimes you turn up late for a match, so you don't want to disturb the people while you look for your seat down the road. So all that he had taken into account. So all the very best to my friend Shashi Prabhu for whatever his future endeavors are, and when this program comes out, I do look forward to seeing not just Shashi, but all the other great architects who will feature it.
Hi, my name is Amol Prabhu. I'm architect Shashi Prabhu's son. Working with him is very interesting. He gives a lot of space to think, but at the same time, he's always there as a guide, as a mentor. His career was very challenging because he was the first generation. He started his career out of nothing. May it be Wankhede Stadium, may it be Lilavati Hospital. They were first of its kind. Well, because most of these projects, as you know, are controversial projects because they move a lot of people get engaged. So my father, Appa as we call him, he has always had a balance about the projects, the professional life and the home life, and he has always given a perspective to us about how we should be looking at these kind of activities. As a person, my father is very different at home. He is like two different people. At work, he's extremely professional. He is cutting edge. He is very punctual. He is absolutely, he has a sense of humor. At times it can be a wicked sense of humor. It keeps us happy and keeps us smiling and keeps us laughing a lot. But that's the best part of working with him. So with this, I would like to wish him all the best. We hope that he continues to guide and mentor us through our growth.
I am Chandrakant Shankar Naik, and I joined Mumbai Cricket Association in 1975 as an accounts assistant. Thereafter, I rose to this position as the chief executive as well as the executive secretary of this association. And I served 48 years in Mumbai Cricket Association. And I came across with Mr. Shashi Prabhu when he was just a young boy like me. So thereafter, the journey has moved forward. And Shashi, with the help of this great our Wankhede, Sheshrao Wankhede, He was a mentor for Mr. Shashi Prabhu. Today you know him as one of the finest and one of the best well-known architect in the country today. Shashi Prabhu I met in 1970, end of 1974. So that time he was very new architect, and hats off to him, he succeeded in getting this sort of designing and stadium, Wankhede Stadium. His this one vision is that it should be one of the best, finest stadium in the world, and it has proved that, his vision. Shashi is one of the such a finest man I have seen in my life. He's very soft spoken, very knowledgeable in architecture. I wish him a long and healthy life, and I wish him for the creating more and more international structures.
My name is Suhas Sahani. I'm working in this office for about 49 years. Right now I'm working in capacity of chief planner. Well, as usual, I started as a junior architect way back in 1975. The main beauty of the job was, as we used to do the drawing, things were executed on site. So I got absolute practical experience from this job. During this time, we started getting hospital jobs, and our first big break was Lilavati Hospital. Now, after working for last 49 years, what else I can wish him? He's about 80, I'm about 70, and he's about 80, 10 years difference. But still, he is active. He comes to office every day and interacts with him. So I wish him long life and good health.
So this segment was powered by Tostem, framing the beauty of living. So how do you feel after such greats like Mr. Sunil Gavaskar sir appreciating your design?
Yeah, what Sunil has said is really true, in the sense, well, he has seen, how I've really gone through different kind of hurdles and so on and so forth. He is also modest. What Sunil said is the right thing. I'm humble. I have to remain like that in the life, because every day comes in the life. It's a new day, and there is a chance to learn something.
Sir, Mr. Gavaskar also mentioned about the renovation. There was again one more time the stadium was renovated before the 2011 World Cup, which he told me when I met him for this AV. What were the changes? He mentioned about the press box and the commentary box as well.
World Cup being organized by ICC, International Cricket Committee, and their norms are different, specs are different, and we have to fit in entire program into their standard. Basically, their focus was the players' dressing room, which has to be certain standard, because players are habit. Many people will know, may not know even, that once they come out, we have put a small gallery, which we are trying to put in every stadium, which in wherein, they will come from the inner environment to the outer environment. Outer environment to see that how public is roaring, etc. Unless you get a feel, suddenly from the dressing room, we can't walk out and go into that, big noise. It's difficult to believe how to play cricket when the noise is coming from all directions. So, players, their habits, their eating. Let me go to the commentator box. Basically, it is changed for suiting the commentators.
Okay.
And there is a third umpire. The third umpire decision is, he has to be isolated. Believe me, he is in his own cabin. Nobody is around him, because he is unbiased. So his comment comes subsequently. So there are so many corrections to be done.
Okay. Sir, we have some really amazing next generation architects sitting here. Do you mind taking a few of their questions, please? Yeah. Who's going first? Yes, please.
Hello, sir. Myself, Saloni. I have a question for you. What all challenges have been faced being an architect?
Being an architect is something different. Architecture student is something different. Being in the profession every day has a challenge. I was explaining prior to that to Mandar, one-to-one, that every day is full of questions, issues. You have to address and then come out with all the issues, resolving them. And in the professional practice, you can't keep the issues away. When you are learning now, you can do certain drawings and leave it halfway, go home and then again pick it up, work the same work in the home and again redraft. Here we have been given a task by the client that we want all the drawing deliverable in a matter of 8 or 10 days. Come may what, they have to finish it. Now after finishing the drawing, you have to again ask somebody to recheck. And then secondly, it has to be perfect to an extent that I always admire, because we have simultaneous practice in Dubai. Dubai, when you submit the plan to the local authority, used to be in the inches and feet. So the fraction of inches also to be given in an approval drawing. And there is no chance to modify it because the same drawing is picked up by the contractor and he quotes his bid on a square foot basis. So there is no room to change, alter. So once you design something, freeze the drawing, it is final and closing. That's very important. In today's life also we started learning that, and that practice I am asking my boys and girls to follow in the routine. Because the mistake is the issue, mistake is the problem. It goes to the contractor, issues, escalating the budget and so on and so forth. So we try to minimize it when we try to give drawings to A to B. So it is very different than what you do in the College of Architecture and the real practice what we do.
Who's going next?
My question is, what is the fundamental ideology that goes behind designing a public space?
Let me start from our Mantralaya. It's a really public place. I'm amazed, because the design which is followed there, with the corridor has no ventilation whatsoever. Narrow passages here and there. Who has designed, I don't want to get into that. But this is really a public place. The good example is Bombay Municipal Corporation, Mumbai Corporation. Large corridors, large passages. Even in annex, old building is fantastic because that goes in a heritage. But people admire that. People want a space. People want a ventilation. See, I brought air conditioning in the municipal headquarters. Why? Because I see the noise dB level was so high outside and people were still working, because when you are practicing, you are architect, you would like to work in a composed, good position where noise disturbance is minimal. So I brought the air condition. Criticism was there, but municipal commissioner agreed. Today, the people giving the blessings to me, the comfort level is of course there because this place is also air conditioned. We are able to really work peacefully. Same thing applies to there also. Hospital. Earlier, the fan is okay for the patient. What do you mean that? Who has brought this issue into somebody's mind? I said I have to churn the air. I am purifying the air. I am making oxy-rich. All these issues, new changes are going to be the future. Today it's a very common practice abroad. The same thing we apply everywhere. Planning, assembly places, dispersing people. See, any kind of accidental issue cannot be really anticipated. So people should be able to go to the possible exits. So placing the exits, the area, imagine the number of people to be accommodated in corridor, how to bring them out. That's one of the challenge. Hospital is the biggest channel because the mobility of the patient is zero. In case of emergency, fire or something, patient relations are the first going to run out because life is precious. So we have to see that, rather than putting the sprinkler, it should be a mist. Worldwide it is done. Wherein you dissipate the temperature, the mist comes down, seizing the fire there and there. See, the mind of the people is that as long as I'm following fire brigade rules and regulation, that's the best system. No. You have to see the global scenario and see what are the lacunas and try to improvise. That kind of approach has to come.
Next question.
Hello sir, my name is Zaki Ansari. How do you legends like you balances your personal life and professional life?
First of all, to call me legend something, over a period, because of the age, you become a legend. I don't know. Or you are a legend because you have got an experience. Experience, as I said, every day is giving you experience. It's a learning process. Personal life is personal life. So when you go home, you can't be a boss. My dear friend, your boss, she is the person, she's handling the kitchen and everything. And if you don't succumb to that, there'll be clashes. You are not married, I suppose, but after marriage, marriage is a big compromise. Two people coming together and working together and then doing, married life as such. It's a big compromise in the life. So you can't be adamant. Same in profession also. You will try to push your ideas and don't listen to anybody. You may say that, this is the best design I followed, but not in the eyes of others. So take, grouply, talk to people. This is what I designed. Do you feel that there's a room for correction? Yes, then correct it. Better to have a correction rather than a mistake being carried forward. Good?
So who's going for the last? Any? We can take one more question. Yeah, yes, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Disha Kambi, and my question to you is: growing up in modern India, were you influenced by architects like B.V. Doshi and Charles Correa?
See, when we call these architect masters, they have done their homework correctly. B.V. Doshi, why we admire him? Because his forms, practical approach. He's from Ahmedabad, and then I had a chance to be a member of National Institute of Design as a director. I could really go on to the SEPT, how they really teach, their curriculum. They are given practical experience simultaneously. So this is what I said, I would like to bring that practice here. So in architecture profession also, try to learn. Go to the side, see the protocol, what we do. We have to be really precise and particular. This you will not observe when you are learning, but when you come to the practical side of it, it's a daily experience for us. That is a good practice you should follow right from the day one. To be noted very well because you are going to follow this tomorrow.
Sir, it was a wonderful session with our future generation architects. Sir, before we end this interview, just two more final questions. So what, according to you, what is the need of the hour for our country in terms of design, architecture?
See, I was with Nitin Gadkari a few months back, where I realized that for the architects to know that India never had roadways. Roadways in the sense the way America has developed. America did not concentrate on the rail. In India, Britishers ruled us and they brought the railway. Railway in turn is useful in the sense railway goes straight. The intention behind that, Britishers, has been projected now that minimum exchange of views will take place between the communities. So they wanted to do the Raj. America went to the different way. America, anybody can pick up a car and go 500, 600 miles with 4 hours, 5 hours timing, etc. So Nitin Gadkari told me that we are building the nation. And the building the nation cannot happen unless we have proper roadways, highways, whatever may be the subways. Very few people know that. Nhava Sheva, the transporters, they were bringing the vehicles all the way from Navi Mumbai to Mumbai. Now with this bridge, straight away they will come to Mazgaon area and the distribution will be faster. This is their idea. So he said, I'm going to bring out minimum 100 new cities. New cities has to have roads, proper connection, not a rail connection, even motor connection. Okay. And 100 new city coming, imagine these youngsters, how much kind of work they have in the different city. People are looking at Mumbai, and the people will ultimately follow what Mumbai follows. See, imagine if you want to go to Bhopal, you will think 20 times, how am I going to go? True. But in America, you can, Bhopal is in a matter of 4 hours. Come on, let's go.
It's so easy.
So easy. It's a normal, in the mindset of the people. People are committing 2 hours, 3 hours. But imagine the distance they are covering. Minimum 100 miles. In America, is miles. Imagine 100 miles means we are going to beyond Pune. 120 miles of Pune. Every day to commute is something nightmare. But this will happen. So we are also slowly and gradually bringing India in the transportation way. And then transport in the terms of passengers as well as goods is the need of the nation. This is what I say, the change is coming in the holistic approach. We see that the India is going to the different level now.
And sir, we would like to know, how do you want people to remember you?
Remember me for coming from I will not put the income wise, middle class, with Marathi medium, no trace of English. We were singing Baba Black Sheep in the 7th standard. Imagine, today is a laughing stock. The communication, English language, today also we are deliberating in English. Why do I inferiority complex that I can't speak, I can't deliberate? Accept the language, Hindi to Hindi, English to English. So you should be able to really express yourself correctly in English. This is basically. And the architect should be able to really explain whatever is designing in a proper format. Decide a format, what you want to really succumb to. You have conceived it with the conviction. So that has to come out. That's the future. And I see the youngsters, they are ready. So this is my message to youngsters. Don't bow down. At the same time, don't show that you are too smart. But, you should be able to answer. Don't take it on you. But this is what the success of the profession is. Am I right?
Absolutely. So, it was such a wonderful experience having you here with us. We have a small photo moment that we would like to share with you. I would request you to sign it for us.
Do I look like this? I don't know.
So can we just have a picture?
Sure.
This moment was powered by Demo by Qtone, luxury tiles and windows for your home.
Thank you.
हमारा तो सर के साथ फोटोग्राफ हो गया. आप लोग भी अगर फोटोग्राफ लेने सर के साथ तो आ जाओ. कम. तो ये थे हमारे शशि प्रभु सर. इनको मिलके मेरे मन में एक ही ख्याल आता है कि जब दिल में विश्वास का सूरज उगता है तो संदेह के बादल छट से जाते हैं. वी थैंक आवर टाइटल स्पॉन्सर टॉस्टन विंडोज, आवर पावर्ड बाय स्पॉन्सर डीमोर बाय क्यूटोन एंड आवर एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर वॉक्स बिल्डिंग मटेरियल प्रोडक्ट्स. दोस्तों, जल्दी मिलेंगे अगले एपिसोड में. तब तक देखते रहिए लेजेंड्स ऑफ डिजाइन. हाय, आई हैव एन अनाउंसमेंट. दोस्तों, आज के इस सोशल मीडिया के दौर में आइए हम आपको लेके चलते हैं उस जमाने में जहां पे कम्युनिकेशन होता था लेटर्स से. वॉक्स प्रेजेंट्स लेटर टू लेजेंड्स. आप अपने फेवरेट लेजेंड्स को इस एड्रेस पर खत लिखिए एंड वी विल इंश्योर कि आपके लेटर्स हम आपके फेवरेट लेजेंड्स तक पहुंचा दें.